In the rhythm of life, there's a melody that dances with every step we take. And in those steps, there's a tale of legacy, of culture, and of the spirits that guide us. Introducing Rootwork, where tradition and heritage intertwine. Crafted from the essence of foundational Black American rootwork, Rootwork deodorant is more than just a scent. It's a connection to the spirits of our ancestors, with 6 enchanting scents to choose from, each infused with the potent High John the Conqueror root, known for its healing and protective properties. Long-lasting and enchanting, Rootwork deodorant will keep you feeling fresh while embracing the spirit of Mojora, the very essence of Rootwork culture. Rootwork deodorant, where tradition and heritage intertwine. Experience the power at rootworkstyle.com. Let your spirit dance in the rhythm of Rootwork.
What's going on, family? All right. Now, can y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly? There we are. All right, we back. We back in business. Oh, man, I was trying to get it popping earlier. My computer was running funny style, so I had to get it acting right. But it's straight now, so we should be good to go. How y'all doing, man? We good, family? We are good. Shout out to the family. Blessing you with the FBA Majara spirit, so we can chop up great game tonight as we always do. Shout out to the regulars in the room. I see our good sister, Miss Nikki the God. I see our brother, Sir Major. I see Grimes in here. I see Miss Trinity down there. I see you guys. And how about everybody? What's up, Mr. Percy Earl down there? Everybody give a retweet. Let's do a retweet, everybody. If you do a retweet, that would be great. Let everybody know that we're live now. Everybody give us a nice, good retweet and let them know that we're live right now, ladies and gentlemen. So what's going on, man? We got a lot to touch on. We're gonna get calls in a minute. We get some calls in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. But I do want to touch on some things. Before I do that, don't forget, man, the microphone check film, that's going to be out in a couple of weeks in movie theaters near you. The highly anticipated hip-hop documentary film starring me and many other people. Go to microphonecheck.com. And in fact, I'm going to be in New York next week doing a lot of press for the film. So all my New York people, where y'all at? What's the weather like in New York, by the way? Yeah, I'll be in New York doing press. I got to go to D.C. to do press. I got to do a TV interview in D.C., and then I got to go to New York. So I'll be out there on the East Coast all next week doing promotions for the film. So I can't wait for you guys to see the movie, man. It's a real good piece. And I'll get some calls in a minute. But speaking of hip hop, did y'all see y'all boy, DJ Vlad, apologize? He put up a tweet apologizing to the black female professor at Princeton that he threatened to go snitch on. Yeah, that pressure is coming down heavy on him. So he had to go ahead and throw in the towel. Let's look at the big picture of this thing with Vlad and a lot of other people. I want y'all to notice with this whole Kendrick and Drake thing going on, and this thing is kind of taking some, it's going to some extreme turns right now. Drake, somebody allegedly shot his bodyguard at his house, and then I think today they said somebody tried to run up in his house. So it's a lot of, this thing is going real left real fast. That's why I said, hey man, we don't need to put no logs on any fire. This whole Drake Kendrick thing, we don't want it to spill over into something crazy. I know out there in the UK, I think the OVO store got vandalized. Somebody put up something. What did they put? They put "They're not like us" on the wall. Something. So listen. Everybody calm down. All right. Let's calm down. This is where we don't want it to go. There's a reason why J. Cole tapped out. But we don't want it to go crazy. We don't want it to go there. We don't want it to be that. That's what we don't want it to be. That's why we were not allowing a lot of the vultures to try to put their little 2 cents in, because this is the kind of stuff that they would instigate. So we don't want to see that. We want to see people safe. We want to keep it fun and competitive. Um, with our brother Kendrick, I don't think he should respond. Drake definitely shouldn't say nothing else. And I'm hearing there's some crisis mode stuff going on behind the scenes, because this is a bad look for Drake's brand. So there's rumors about some crisis control stuff going on in the background. Um, Kendrick shouldn't respond again. Kendrick is already winning. Kendrick is already winning. And when you're winning, you got to kind of be a little humble about it to a certain degree. Because if you just, Drake is down right now, bad. And if you keep digging at him, sometimes people will start getting more sympathetic to the people that you're whooping down on. If you are, you don't want you don't want to be perceived as a bully at some point. Because see, that happens when I start beefing with folks, and usually they always instigate something with me, and then when I start smashing down on them and clowning real hard, all of a sudden, come on, Tariq, you ain't have to do him like that. Now, you ain't, come on, you ain't have to do him that bad, Tariq. Yeah, well, y'all weren't all that sympathetic when this such and such was taking jabs left and right, and when you clap back, all of a sudden we got to sing kumbaya. So a lot of times when you whooping down on an opponent and you're winning, and you go overboard, that person who's been defeated, they'll start getting sympathetic energy from people. So we don't want that. So Kendrick is good. Kendrick is good. He got that summer banger. They're not like us. That's gonna be banging throughout the whole summer. It's like number one all over the place right now. But if you notice, a lot of white hip hop bloggers and a lot of white hip hop DJs and a lot of these non-black people who are um, in the hip hop um, media stratosphere. A lot of them are kind of sympathetic towards Drake. Y'all notice that? This is going back to Vlad. See, the reason why people got on Vlad's bumper is Vlad was trying to be critical of Kendrick Lamar's song. It was clearly him trying to reach for something. He was like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar's song, I don't like the mix of it. They could have mixed it a little better. Could have mixed it better. I don't know. And people are like, shut up, man. The Vlad. I've noticed that from a lot of these white hip hop or non-black hip hop vloggers and DJs. You notice they seem real sympathetic towards Drake, and they're seeming a little uneasy right now. Look at some of your non-black hip hop heads. Also, not even just the non-black ones, the non-FBA ones, by the way, too. Let's go there. Let's go there. Look at some of the non-FBA hip hop bloggers and commentators. Look at how they're acting. Some of them are reluctantly kind of giving it up to Kendrick, like, oh damn, yeah, I got to give it to Kendrick. Or some of them are still like, well, Drake won, nigga. Drake did his thing. You know? But I want y'all to notice that why some of these white hip hop heads, if we can call them that, seemingly so sympathetic towards Drake when he clearly lost. Let's not play no games. I like Drake and Kendrick. I like Drake and Kendrick, but I mean, this is not even a competition no more. This is abuse. I mean, Kendrick whooped Drake in this battle. This was very bad for Drake. Kendrick has a summer banger right now. And the way Kendrick did it was so strategic, because Kendrick just kept putting out these songs back to back, killing the momentum of Drake's responses. So Drake built up this big thing where he was going to put out a response, and Drake put out a response, the Family Matters thing, which was good. And then what? 30 minutes later, Kendrick came out with Meet the Gram, so that trampled on the steam of Drake's record. And then He doubled back around with the club banger, but They Not Like Us. That was it. That just nailed the coffin shut right there. But a lot of these white vloggers and hip hop folks, they're looking real uneasy because the thing is, the Kendrick song was not only talking about Drake being somewhat of a colonizer, that applies to a lot of these non black hip hop vloggers and DJs. See, that applies to them too. Them being guests in the culture. You see? That's why they got a problem with it. That's why y'all think Drake, not Drake, but Vlad came out just trying to reach to find something negative to say about the Kendrick thing. Because you couldn't say that Kendrick wasn't spitting. You couldn't say that. You couldn't say the track wasn't banging because DJ Mustard put his foot in that track. You couldn't say that. You couldn't talk about the artistic integrity of the song. So he had to get to he had to make some technical argument. Well, it could have, I don't like the way it mixed. The mix doesn't, it could have been mixed a little better than me. It's just, you're reaching. He was clearly reaching because that Kendrick Lamar is going in on vultures, people who exploit our culture, like the Vlads and other people like that. These are people who exploit our cultures. And they act as colonizers. They don't really have love for it. This is something that they can make a buck off of, and it's exploitive to them. Yeah? Integrity be damned. And people have a right to say, hey, look, we want to gatekeep our culture. We're so codified now, and even Kendrick, the delineation energy in those records that Kendrick is making about outsiders coming and latching on to foundational Black American culture, our brother Kendrick is driving that message home. You dig? And all of us and the grassroots and so many people out here are getting codified about our lineage and our heritage as foundational Black Americans. People are saying that this is a serious thing. Our brother Cat Williams just did his special on Netflix, talking like us, talking about reparations and why we need it. And, that people are speaking the language of the grassroots right now. And you got a lot of people who are going into the mainstream speaking our language and watching what we're doing over here. You better believe Kendrick is watching what we're doing over here with the grassroots movement. And he's looking at the FBA energy and Cat Williams, these people. Shout out to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie is doing his thing in the NBA. That brother's winning championships. That brother's doing his thing. Kyrie Irving, he's one of the executive producers for our new movie, Microphone Check. He's one of the executive producers. So a lot of people are reaching over here, touching the grassroots and getting that energy because we're protecting them and they're speaking for us, which is what we want. But we got to understand something. We have a right to say, hey, some of these people who are outsiders who come from these non-FBA lineages and even non-Black lineages, we have to look at their commentary and input on our culture with a grain of salt. They can't really speak and represent our culture. We have to look at them a certain way, you see. And they see us gatekeeping the culture, they're getting a little nervous because they're like, okay, how deep is this thing going to get? Because the stuff that Vlad tried to pull, where he was going to go run and tell Princeton on that black professor, that's not hip hop. You see, you tried to weaponize your whiteness. See, Michael Rappaport and all of that. This is why I tell people, the white people who come around with all the yo word to the mother, I'm not impressed. I'm never impressed with that because those are the same people who will turn around and weaponize their whiteness against a black person. Remember, Michael Rappaport was it Kevin Durant, one of those NBA players he was arguing with and all in his DMs, and I think Durant started barking on him in the DMs, and then Michael Rappaport went and snitched and then got the brother suspended a couple of games. That was some hoe ass shit to me. But I've always known he was a buster. I've always known Michael Rappaport was a buster. Little stuff like that, when they start weaponizing their whiteness and snitching on niggas, that ain't hip hop. I don't give a damn how many records you listen to, how many friends you got in hip hop. That ain't hip hop. That makes you all guest in our culture. You're always going to be guest with that type of disposition. Just that the option to weaponize whiteness makes you a guest in the culture. Now, this is why I want y'all to watch the movie Microphone Check. See, the thing is with hip hop culture, if you want to talk about hip hop culture, we don't have the luxury to go run to white establishment mommy and daddy if things go bad in the community. Within hip hop circles, when things go left, if there's a disagreement, we didn't have that option. Let's go to the origins of hip hop in the Bronx. The origin of hip hop in the Bronx, the reason why hip hop was created was because the black folks in the Bronx, they didn't have any allies, they didn't have any police protection, they didn't have any people giving resources to the community. The resources were being drained. Um, Landlords were burning buildings down for insurance money and then leaving the communities in rubbles while they bounced, and the black folks had to sit here and live in the tenements and the burned down buildings. Law enforcement weren't really enforcing the law. There were junkies all over the place in the 1970s. Yeah. The resources from school programs that was being taken out, so they left the brothers and sisters in the Bronx for dead. So they said, hey, you know what, let's police ourselves. You had a bunch of black children, and that's who started hip-hop. We got to remember, these were kids who started hip-hop. These were foundational black American children. They're like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids say, hey man, let's get some kind of code. You got some turntables, I'm gonna bring my mom's records down here. um, let's go plug up somewhere. We can't get in the clubs. We're not old enough, and we ain't got no fancy clothes. We can't get in none of the disco clubs. So let's when ain't nobody looking, let's put a plug in that light pole over there and just go set up at the basketball court at the park. And then they started getting on code. And when things went left in those parks, when the brothers and sisters were doing their thing, like if somebody stole somebody's equipment, which happened, you couldn't really go to the police. You can't go tell nobody. First of all, the police ain't gonna do nothing. You don't have anybody to go tell on, or tell to rather. Somebody rob you and take your equipment. Number one, the cops ain't gonna do nothing. Number two, they're gonna look at you like, okay, why were you out there? You weren't even supposed to be out there. A lot of those people they kind of overlook that a lot of those early hip hop jams, technically they were illegal because they were having parties on rooftops and nobody had no permit. They just kind of set up places. They technically weren't even supposed to be out there. You're stealing electricity. So who are you going to tell? Nobody's going to help you. So they had to come up with a system to look out for each other. So they had to go to the gangs. A lot of those street gangs were doing security. They had to be clicked in. Certain hip hop crews, they had to be tapped in with certain gangs. People like Disco King Mario, who was very influential. He was down with the Black Spades. Bambaataa was with the Black Spades at one point. So you had to, the community had to police themselves. You had to have street connections, and you had to live by certain rules and codes. You didn't have the option to go tell white mommy, white daddy. You understand? You couldn't tell an authoritative figure that was sanctioned by the state. So everybody kind of had to have their own rules. So they worked out their own issues. So if there was a rap battle, they rapped it out. They rhymed it out. If there was some street business going on, they got their street connections and they had whatever they had to do. You know? So people worked their own issues out. They fleshed it out. And they didn't let it get too crazy. Because in the early stages of hip hop, the interaction between the actual pioneers wasn't that violent. You didn't see too much violence between the rappers. They worked it out on the mic. If they were doing a DJ battle, they let their skill speak for itself. It didn't really spill over. They had a code of conduct, you see. And I really want y'all to go see the movie Microphone Check. We really get deep in this, and this is a great history lesson for a lot of the younger people to really understand why and where this thriving culture came from and how it was created and the rules that went in it. You see, that's why it's very important to see this movie, and it's a very timely movie. And speaking of beefs, one of the first rap beefs between MCs was with Busy B and Cool Mo D. They had a big rap battle at Harlem. I think it was in Harlem World in 1981. Busy B is in our film. Busy B is in Microphone Check. You see, so it's important to understand the history of a lot of this stuff and the correlation between then and now. But people are right to say, hey, the Vlads of the world, we don't really want them in our mix because they take it somewhere else. You understand? When they come in and start talking to folks, if things don't go their way, they go say, "Oh, I'm about to go tell on people." That's not hip hop at all. That ain't got nothing to do with hip hop whatsoever. That is the opposite of hip hop. Hip hop, the early stages of hip hop, nobody had authoritative protection. You didn't have that. That's what made it hip hop. Everybody had to police themselves, and there were certain rules of the game that people abided by. Yeah. But I digress. Let me get some folks in here because we got a lot of people in here, and I do want to talk to the family. And by the way, man, go get the movie or go get your tickets for the movie Microphone Check at microphonecheck.com. It will be in theaters in a couple of weeks. All right, Memorial Day weekend. All right, let's get some of these folks in here. Let's get Saul, this man with a clown mask on. Saul, what's up, man? Let's get Saul, then we'll get Sean. All right, Saul, what's up, man?
Well,
What's up, Saul?
hi. I spoke to you maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Okay,
and you cut me off.
okay. What were you
Um,
saying?
I was trying to ask for advice. As someone who lives alone and lives next door to a white supremacist, I was trying to get advice on how to deal with the situation, and you said it was simple shit.
Okay, I don't remember, ma'am. I speak to hundreds of people, so I don't really remember the details. So
Oh,
what happened? Why are you living next to a white supremacist?
because this is the only place I can afford. But that's not really what I want to talk about. I just wanted to know, why are you so aggressive to people on here
Aggressive
for
how?
little or no reason?
Aggressive how?
You're very rude and short with people.
Well, you have to get to the point because there's a lot of people in here and they get bored. They don't really want to hear rambling. You
Yeah,
understand?
but you give these white supremacists on here time to talk, like
Because they
even when
kind of
we're
get to the
debating
point.
them.
The white supremacists, I will give them credit. A lot of times they have their ideologies already thought out, so they kind of get to the point. So that's why I can let them say what they need to say because they kind of articulate themselves. Now, sometimes the white supremacists, when they call up drunk, I get them up out of here real quick. So again, you right now you haven't gotten to the point. You've been kind of rambling
I
and
am getting
complaining.
to the point. I'm
So
just
what's the
like
point, ma'am?
So you let white supremacists babble on here and say all this racist shit, but when I call you and ask you for advice on how to deal with my racist neighbor who's a hood rat, you cut me off and get to the next person. And
Right.
you're completely rude. And you called my mother a crackhead.
When did I call
And
your mother a
when
crackhead? What are
you
you
called
talking
my
about? Now,
mom
what
a
are you talking?
crackhead.
Who is your mama?
I
I don't know
told,
who your mama is. What are you talking about?
well, you called her a crackhead. You said
Your
that
mother?
my
I don't
dad
know
was
what
a crackhead.
I didn't say. I don't
You
remember
accused
none
me
of
of
that,
being
man.
white. Like what? Like you were just very insulting
I don't
all
remember.
around. And I called in because I respect you, and I've been listening to you for many years, and I wanted some genuine help. And then you just
Well,
cut me off. And
yeah, ma'am, because you're babbling now. We have hundreds of people in here. They don't want to hear babble. You have to get to the point, ma'am. Now, if you are in danger, you need to call 911. And you obviously are not that much in danger. You understand? Because you would have called the police if something was really bad happening.
I have,
Yeah?
I have several
Okay.
times. And you
Okay.
know how racist the police are, so I don't know why you're acting
Th-
like you know how they treat black people. So
right. So if you
I don't
have
know
a
why
problem,
you're acting brand new about it.
well, then why are you still staying there, ma'am? You need to move if it's
Because
a
this is
problem.
all I can afford. I live in New York City. It's expensive. I can't just
All right,
hop from one place to another.
ma'am. Well, you need to go get you some makeup and a wig and find you a sugar daddy or something so you can get some money.
No,
Why
thank
don't you?
you. You men
Why
are
don't you?
disgusting.
Why don't you have no money?
I have money. I do you know how what New York City is like?
Uh huh.
It's like Los Angeles. It's expensive. You need to make 3 times the rent. It's
What kind of work?
expensive.
What kind of work do you do?
Online work, none of your business.
Okay, OnlyFans. Okay, so you're not making that
No,
much
I
money
don't.
with your
I don't do
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. I've never done sex work.
Okay,
I've
so
never
this.
done sex work.
But don't tell me
I
what's
never
none.
will.
But don't tell me you want advice and then something is none of my business. None of what you do is my business. If that's
You
the
didn't
case,
want to give me help anyway. You were a complete jerk to me the last time.
well, ma'am, what you need to do, you need to get your teeth fixed because sounds like your teeth are janky.
You need a
Um,
hair transplant.
I hear an echo in there, so it sounds like you're in a Section 8 apartment. Get that together and find you a sugar daddy,
Well, it doesn't really matter where you live because the
ma'am.
cops will still call on you. The feds will still call on you.
And where's your family from, dear? Where's your family from?
My mom is FBA. Her grandfather is from Georgia. Most of us live in New York or Georgia, Pennsylvania. And my dad is from South America,
What part? Is he what Colombian or
like
something? What?
Puerto Rican,
Okay, that's kind of the Caribbean. That's not really South America.
whatever.
Do you
I don't really
correspond?
have any connection to that family, to my
Oh,
that side of my family.
okay, so okay, but yeah, I don't want you to be harmed
I,
by the white supremacists. But if it's a problem, what is the white supremacist doing to you? What is he doing to you?
it's mainly a woman, and she used to have like confrontation with my mom. But long story short, since you don't want me to babble, recently I've had to buy a security camera because her male friend, who I think is a non-FBA black man, was scraping his bike against my door. Like he left like marks all over my door. And but the way he was doing it, like the cops aren't gonna do anything because all he was doing was riding up against the door.
Okay, ma'am. Does your mother?
So it's
Your
like
mom
I
say
can't call the police. Like they're
your
saying
mom?
call the police, but the police aren't gonna do anything. The
Okay,
police
well
are racist.
you stay with your mom.
No, she passed away a year ago.
Okay, I'm
So I'm
sorry to
here
hear.
by myself now.
Okay, um, okay, because you're not telling the whole story, man. What
Because
kind
you
of
don't want me to babble. It would take me a
uh,
good 20 minutes to
are you?
to
Listen, stop,
explain
man.
everything.
Are you on some kind of disability?
No, I'm not disabled. The only thing I have is asthma. I don't qualify for disability. I
You don't
don't
get
qualify for assistance. I make too
you don't
much to make this, but I make too little to just hop up and move out.
because you sound like you get like a little check for something, man.
What?
You sound like you get you a little check for something. You don't get a little extra check in the mail for something.
No, I don't get assistance.
Well, that's
Um, I do background work on TV shows from just to get a little bit of extra money. But
And how old are you, dear?
I'm 24.
Okay. Man, how long have you been staying by yourself? Because sounds like there's some other stuff going on with you, ma'am.
What's
You
going on? What do you think is going on?
know, you just don't sound like you're able to really take care of yourself. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like you're able to take care of yourself.
What do you mean by that?
It doesn't sound like you're capable of taking care of yourself fully. That's why I'm saying it's something sound like something else is
You
going
think
on.
I'm physically disabled or mentally disabled?
Not physically disabled, but just, I don't think you're physically disabled. I think there might be um, some type of neurological thing going. What have you been diagnosed with anything, ma'am?
No, I've seen a therapist because of my mom's passing.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be insulting. I just, I'm,
It
I'm,
really does sound like
I'm
insulting.
I'm really not. But
I don't have like a learning disability, if that's what you're trying to get at.
okay. I don't know. I want you to be safe. But if there's a threat there, you would need to call the police. Let me get some more calls here, ma'am. I got to get some more calls. Thank you, dear. Yeah,
Hey,
sound like she get her a little check, man. Sound like she get her a little old check somewhere. Dude, for real. I'm not even being mean spirited. That's okay. If you get a little check, that's okay. Like, oh, all right, all right. Somebody scraped their bike against the wall, and all right, she want me to do something about it. All right. She said the police won't do it. So just the fact that you want me to come do something about your racist neighbor who had a nigga over there scraping the wall with a bike, what exactly do you want me to do, man? I'm not super nigga. I don't fly around the country with a cape with a fist on it. What do you want me to do? Hey, this is the job for super nigga. Get away from that wall, sucker. What do you want me to do? All right. Good Lord. Hey, what's up, brother Sean? How you doing, man?
hey, what's going on, Tariq? How you doing?
I'm good, family. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to talk about the Vlad situation. Now, I saw that he folded like a cheap tent,
Oh yeah.
but it was funny because before he even tweeted that, he talked about how he wanted to talk about um, those back and forth he had with the professor in his future interviews. But then all of a sudden, he drops that last tweet saying that he apologized. He even put her whole name out there.
Oh
And
yeah.
it just shows that Vlad has this very passive aggressive behavior, which needs to be called out because one thing I realized about Vlad, he likes validation from his black guests. You know,
Right.
the typical, TK Kirkland's, the Michael J. Weiss, the Boozy. I mean, I get it. Like this is the typical people that constantly come to his shows back and forth, but they don't check him when he says things out of line. I mean, I did see Michael Jai White check him on his Taraji B. Henson comments because he was out of line in regards
Yeah.
of pocket watching her. And I
Yeah.
feel that we need more of Vlad's black guests checking him. I mean, that's all I got to say. I'm going to land my plane there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. And a shout out to Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar checked him heavy, and Lord Jamar stopped going on there. And I was a guest on Vlad's show, and I didn't like some of the little slick stuff that was going on, and I said something. I don't. On my platform, I get the same amount of views. As Vlad, and on just me talking. I don't need guests. I can get the same amount of views for just me, so I don't need a Vlad. So yeah, that's why I can say something about it. You know. Let's get T in the building. Let's get T. All right, you want to get on T? Unmute your microphone, sir. You got 5 seconds, and T is not unmuting the microphone, so let's get BKK. You can unmute your microphone.
Hi Tariq. I'm curious about your opinion of the Moorish travelers who arrived at the Americas before the Europeans. Do you believe that native Black Americans are their descendants?
Yeah, I think some of those Moorish travelers did mix in with some of the originals here. I believe that absolutely.
Okay, so why didn't they civilize them? Why did they become savages instead?
Now, what makes you think they were savages?
Because they never built any civilizations.
That's not true. When was it Balboa? When one of those guys went down to, for example, Central America, they saw very advanced cities. They saw a city with mosques and paved roads. So, um, yeah, there were advanced cities, and they had advanced structures all through the Americas, from South America, Central America,
Okay.
the pyramid. You know, so they've had civilizations here. What makes you think they didn't?
Well, why didn't they bring to the Americas what they did to the Spanish, right? In Spain,
What they
they
did? What now?
civilized the Spaniards. Why didn't they bring the civilization they brought to the Americas to, well, I mean, I apologize. Why didn't they bring the civilization they brought to Spain to the Americas? You know, in Spain, they brought Islam, right? They developed
Hmm.
Spain to where it is now, actually, right? So why didn't they do
Hmm.
the same in the Americas? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why isn't
Well,
Islam prevalent in the Americas?
well, the thing is, when they came here, when the Europeans came here, they brought black people and they brought Moors who were trans because they were certain tribes here. And there, you got to understand, there were hundreds, even thousands of tribes all over the Americas. It wasn't just big one monolithic thing. There were different tribal groups, and they spoke different languages. Some of them spoke Arabic, some of them spoke Hebrew. They had
Some of them spoke
different.
Arabic. Where's the proof of that?
Yes, they did. They did speak Arabic. In fact, Columbus, his the ships that he had, the Nina,
I'm
that
gonna
was
need some
owned
proof.
by. You did what?
Pardon?
What
Did
you
you hear
say?
what I asked? I asked you, why didn't they speak Arabic then? Like, why is there no trace of Arabic language in any of the native tribes in the Americas?
The Hopi, yeah, the Hopi Indians. They translated one of their ancient chants, and they found out that that chant is basically an Arabic chant. So Google that. You did have some Native Americans who were speaking variations of Arabic. Even their symbols was the crescent moon and the star, which is Arabic. So there were
Is there anything to
semblances
corroborate
of
this?
just you can kind of look it up yourself. Just Google what I'm saying, sir. You can Google some of this stuff.
I don't know.
Um,
You might be making it up. I don't know.
I mean, well, okay, I could be making it up, or you can Google what I just said, and um,
So why don't the natives
probably
practice Islam, Tariq?
there's a lot of different religions they practice. They practiced a lot of
Okay,
different religions.
but the Moors, right? They brought Islam to Spain. They Islamized Spain for 700 years. They couldn't do the same in the Americas. I find that hard to believe.
Well, the thing is, they didn't come over here to colonize everybody. You see, and the Moors, they didn't force Islam on people in Spain. See, they didn't come in like the
No,
white supremacists.
Tariq. They did force Islam. That's why they conquered Spain for 700
Let's
years.
slow down.
They are
They didn't
no,
force.
Tariq. You can't,
That's not
Tariq. You
true.
can't lie like this.
Okay.
No. Islam is a conquering religion, Tariq. Wherever they come, war follows. They
Okay.
conquered Spain. Why did they do the same to the
Okay.
Americans?
Little sweet thing. Calm down, because you're being sassy. Calm your little sassy self down. All right. Let's calm down, nigga. Okay. For real. You talk like I know you. I'm not knocking your lifestyle, but just with me, you talk like a man. You being sassy as fuck.
You
Calm
are
that shit
not
down.
half the man that
Uh
I am, Tariq.
Tariq. Tariq. So nigga, calm the
You're
fuck
not half
down.
the man I am. I am a god. I am a god, Tariq.
Let me tell you.
You are human.
What?
You are a
No,
human being.
no, nigga, calm down. Nigga, we trying to talk like men. You get into a sassy bitch. Let me tell you what's tea. Nigga, calm down. All right. God damn. You can't do that now, Tyree. Nigga, calm down. I ain't about to have a tickle fest with no nigga. What
Okay.
is
So
wrong
can
with
you
you?
explain why the Americans aren't practicing
All right,
Islam
calm the
as
fuck
or
down, dude.
Muslims?
Nigga. All right,
Tariq, oh my God.
talk to me
Just
like
answer the question.
stop
Just
being
answer the
sassy.
question, Tariq.
All right, well
I'm not
if
being
you roll up on if
sassy.
you can Nigga,
Stop dodging.
roll over from off your stomach. Damn. Calm your sassy, moist ass down, Miss Thing. Fuck is wrong with you? All right, dude. Don't ask me something and then when I try to answer, nigga. No, I'm not gonna sit here with no sassy nigga just being sassy for no reason. Now, fuck is wrong with you? All right, you know what? Let me get your ass out. I'm not talking to no sassy nigga. Fuck out of here. Don't ask me a question and I'm trying to break it down and then you get into sassy spasms. You got moist Tourette's. You can't even help yourself, nigga. Just doing real weird moist shit. Calm down, man. Islam is conquering people. It be taking people over and doing things to them. Like, nigga, shut up. Fuck is you talking about? Calm down. Man. Well, how come they weren't doing no Islam over here, Tariq? I'm telling this nigga I'm giving him sources. I'm like, yeah, there's Native American tribes who were, utilizing certain Islamic words. You might be lying. Nigga, get your Jennifer Hudson ass up out of here. Fuck out of here, nigga. Not gonna argue with no sassy dude. Talk to me like a man. Fuck out of here.